Hi, I'm Eric Everell. I'm an instructor here at RBMC School at Training Center Yorktown, and today we're going to talk about mooring and unmooring the boat in transit mode. So we've arrived at our destination, and we need to get this boat tied up to the pier. The first thing we need to do before we make our approach is we're going to look at our elements. So I'm looking up here at the flags on these boats off my bow, and it looks like the winds are blowing off of my port side. And I'm also going to be observing the current. By turning my bow towards the shoreline here, I can kind of see and get a good idea what my current's doing just by observing my relative motion to the shoreline. So we're moving in the direction that the wind is blowing. The current isn't counteracting the wind. So ideally we want to be with our bow into the prevailing force. So we'll look at where we need to be, where our tying up options are going to be, and then we're going to make our approach in. Before you get in there, you want to make sure your fenders are set up and your lines are placed where you want them to be. I got my line placed on bit 2 and bit 4 because I know that they tie up directly across from the bits on the pier. Before you go in, brief your crew where they're going to go, which line's going over first, which line will go over second, so that they know what they're doing before you get in there. Alright, line 2. You're going to the green lamppost just forward of that yacht. Line 4, you're going to the bollard all the way at the end of the pier. So we briefed our crew, we know where our elements are going, so now we make our way into the marina. Remember, you have crew out on the weather decks, so you want to keep your movements on the tiller and the throttle nice and smooth. Not a lot of shaky or drastic maneuvers that could possibly put somebody into the water. So we steady up. I find the cleat I'm going to, which is right next to that green light post. I'm going to point right at it. I know if I'm looking at that cleat and it's in line with bit 1 on my bow, that I've got a straight line towards it. I have my angle, now I'm going to make my approach. Remember, with the RBM, you can't give a shot ahead and go to zero thrust and coast. That zero thrust will actually stop your forward momentum. So if you want to be moving forward, you have to have forward thrust moving through your jets. Otherwise, you'll just stop as you're making your approach. I start turning away from the pier as I get closer, and I just want to get my bit next to the pier where the line needs to go. Once I'm there, I put my line 2 over. Put over 2! I'm keeping it at an angle, not a lot of motion on my controls until he's holding 2. Hold 2! Once 2's holding, I use just my tiller to get my quarter in. Maybe a little shot of stern to kind of get him in line. Put over 4! And now I'm going to use my tiller to hold that quarter in and make sure that it's staying there. Once I hear 4's made, then I'm going to turn to port, take slack out of 2, take slack out of 2 and make it. Using my tiller, I keep the bow over and make sure that I'm not doing a lot of motions while he's trying to make up the lines. Is 2 made? Roger. Alright, I thought he made up 4, he didn't, so I'll bring my quarter back over. Take 4! And using my tiller, I keep that quarter in. Once we hear 4's made, set your sticks to detent, zero thrust, disengage your engines, and you're here. So now it's time to get away from the pier. First thing we're going to do is take on our stern line. We'll bring our forward line, which in our case is line 2, down to a working turn, and we're going to use that to spring our stern out. Once the stern is sprung out, we'll back away, and then we have plenty of room away from the pier to maneuver, come about, and exit the marina. Engaging! Bring on 4. Put 2 to work and turn. Four is clear. So using my tiller, start bringing my stern away from the pier and maybe a little shot forward to help me get out. Once I have the angle I want, I stop my swing and bring 2 on board. Bring on 2. You have to watch your bow here that you don't get it over the pier too much. You could damage the metal or damage your bow if you bring it over and make contact with a bit or a cleat or something hard on the pier. Once the lines are on, we back straight out, checking your stern, making sure you're not going to back into anybody. And then once you have room from the pier to maneuver, you're free to come about and exit the marina.